time is April 24th, 1958, and the place, the new sports stadium of the Hebrew University, scene of a military parade celebrating Israel's 10th anniversary. The roar of tanks fills the air, and the parade starts. President Ben-Zvi and Prime Minister Ben-Gurion review the boys and girls marching past in uniform, so many of them students and future students of the university. And enthusiasm unite the vast crowd of tourists and Israelis, young and old, Western and Oriental in origin. This was April 24th, Independence Day at the Hebrew University. The next day, in the university's Senate room, members of the Board of Governors come together from many countries, assembled to plan the university's growth and future. Here are Edward Gelber of Canada and Israel, Mr. Meron, Dr. Abba Hillel Silva, Professor Norman Bentwich, Dr. George Wise, Chairman of the Board, and President Mazar, as well as Dr. Harry Seldon and Samuel Katzin of the United States, Michael Greenblatt and Mrs. Lottie Riven of Canada, and Mrs. Bertha Solomon of South Africa. Dr. John Sherman of Toronto, International President of the American and Canadian Jewish Dental Fraternity, Alpha Omega, presents President Mazar with a $200,000 check towards the building of the new dental school. 10 years ago, the loss of Mount Scopus was part of the price paid for the birth of Israel. The university had to make do with inadequate, rented quarters all over town. Books were stacked in cellars, lecture halls were found in monasteries and old buildings, some of them, like the medical school, close to the border, on streets marked by tank traps and other vestiges of the War of Independence. A large-scale building program was painfully necessary, but it could never have been undertaken without the daring decision made by the Board of Governors 4 years ago. The difficulties were many and complex, not only financial in nature. The stretch of land finally given by the government to the university was Givat Ram, a hill outside Jerusalem. It was typical Israeli hill country, so rocky, so wild, so unmarked by human attention, that it seemed unconquerable. sound of dynamite blasting rocks accompanies many a learned lecture. Every inch of ground had to be subdued. But the result, as building after building has arisen and lawn after lawn has been planted, is a hilltop campus equal in beauty to any. The university and its friends everywhere had every right to celebrate in pride when on Sunday, April 27th, 3 days after Independence Day, the new campus was formally opened at a ceremony in the Mona Bronfman Sheckman Amphitheater cut into the rock of the Judean hills. Standing beside a specially constructed lectern, Prime Minister Ben-Gurion jokingly said, "I assume I have been put in the corner for originally disagreeing with the plan to build the university on this particular spot. I was defeated by the university, and I am happy I was." The burden of his speech was the university's central role in Israel's destiny. Only if we develop our intellectual and spiritual values can our material, our political, and our military achievements endure. Learning is light, says the old Hebrew adage, and the opening of the campus was itself a ceremony of light, while thousands of candles were lit by the audience. The dedication scroll was unrolled and read by a student. In the 10th year of the foundation of the State of Israel, we are assembled in the eternal capital, Jerusalem, to rejoice in the Hebrew University campus, a center of science and learning, of research and teaching. President Mazar, who declared the campus officially open with the concluding words, "The Hebrew University stands firm on its foundations, and its doors are open wide to all who desire to enter it, from near and from far." The beautiful George and Florence Wise Auditorium, presented by the chairman of the Board of Governors and his wife, was opened. The ribbon was cut by Israel's First Lady, Mrs. Rachel Ben-Zvi. Fittingly, the ceremony served as the occasion for the presentation of 3 honorary doctorates to that beloved and scholarly figure, President Ben-Zvi, to Professor Selman Waxman, discoverer of streptomycin and Nobel Prize winner, and to the great Hebrew novelist and stylist Shmuel Yosef Agnon. Beneath the auditorium, an exhibition had been set up, presenting the university of the past, the present, and the future.
This is the Anna Gurich lecture hall in the large chemistry building at the back of the campus. Chemistry is and has to be the foundation of many of our industries in a small country not too rich in natural resources. Here are some of our busy chemistry laboratories. But we are the Hebrew University, and Jewish studies have a uniquely important place here. The Abraham Mazer building is dedicated to them. Not the least among them is archaeology and that fascinating new branch, the study of the Dead Sea Scrolls. The university is proud to be the possessor of those great world-famous treasures. Economics, with all its practical implications for Israel, is much emphasized, and the library of the Eliezer Kaplan School of Economics and Social Sciences is a very busy place. Campus, we find the science laboratories, physics, nuclear physics, and botany. 35 miles away in Rehovot, the Faculty of Agriculture trains scientific farmers in both theory and practice. Returning to Givat Ram, you can see one of the university's largest classes listening to the poetess Dr. Leah Goldberg. Accommodations for the students are not overlooked. Attractive dormitories have been built with plenty of room for leisurely reading and games. Cafeteria as well. Nearby is the interesting structure of the Israel Goldstein Synagogue. We are still building. Tremendous foundations for the new central library are being laid, and the Manchester building for mathematics is coming up. On another mountain ridge overlooking a magnificent vista of the Judean hills, the Hadassah University Medical Center is rising.
time for work and a time for play. The day after the opening of the campus was Students' Day. It is celebrated every year. Its motto, Kings for a day, donkeys all year round. The traditional carnival procession danced its way through the streets of Jerusalem, and this year, for the first time, culminated on the campus. First a program of entertainment, then spontaneous dancing by the students. And finally a picnic, a kumsitz they call it locally, complete with bonfires, Turkish coffee, and singing. Students at play, honorary degrees, official dedication and governor's meeting, all of them essential elements in the functioning of the university that trains the teachers and doctors, the lawyers and civil servants, the chemists and nuclear physicists, the biologists and scientific farmers, who make and increasingly will make of Israel a land of learning, life, and light.